Day 5, you guys. We are going to cover a lot of ground in this one. This is a very good breathing exercise that we're going to take all the way from like very beginner all the way up to an advanced level for us. So what we're going to do is some light breath holds, kind of a moderate to light to eventually pretty serious breath hold. As we progress through, we're going to get more and more into those breath holds. So what we do is we start just seated and we are going to take breath in, exhale. Now we're going to hold that breath until we get a light to moderate desire to breathe. And then we are going to take another breath in. And we are going to repeat that for about 5 to 10 minutes. So just seated, all you're doing, nasal breathing for me. And then you're going to exhale, pinch off your nose, just like we did at the very start with the helping clear up our nasal passage. You're going to pinch off your nose so that you can't cheat. Your mouth is closed, your nose is pinched closed, and you're going to hold your breath after you exhale until you have that light, moderate desire to breathe. And then you are going to take that inhale back through your nose. If you're pushing it to the point where you need to open up and gasp through your mouth, you've held it for too long, quite a bit too long at that point. So what you want to do is do that. Once you take that inhale, take a couple breaths, reset your breath, about 30 seconds to reset that breath. Then repeat the exercise again. I'll show you a couple here in a minute, but you want to inhale, exhale, hold, moderate desire to breathe. You're going to inhale again. You're going to reset your breath with that, so about 30 seconds, and then you're going to repeat that, and you're going to continually do that for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's going to be level 1 for us. So what that's going to look like is inhale, exhale, pinch and hold until that air hunger is strong enough, and then we will take our next breath in. Level 2, what we're going to do is we're going to now get up and you're going to walk while you do that. So that's going to increase the rate at which you're basically using that oxygen in your body. And now you're going to go to a moderate to a strong desire to breathe. So a little pushing it a little bit longer before you decide to take that breath in. But again, you should still be able to do this all through your nose when you do take that breath in. And you're going to reset your breath there again. So maybe 30 seconds to reset your breath, and then repeat the exercise there for again about 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to do that. And then finally, level 3, you're going to do this. You're going to take from that walking to either like a fast-paced walk, so a high speed kind of like pep to your step kind of a walk, or even into a slow jog. And you're going to go for a strong air hunger. Basically, at this point, you're holding your breath as long as you can, where you are still able to control that breath in. It can be a bigger breath in at this point, but still through your nose. And with this one, what I want you to do is continually increase your pace as that air hunger gets stronger. So fight that air hunger off and be like, nope, I can hold it, and try and relax into it, and increase your pace, try and relax into it until finally that strong air hunger overcomes you and you're like, I need to take a breath. Take that breath in all through your nose again, remember. Take that 30 seconds to reset, and you're going to do that again 5 to 10 minutes. So that's level 1, 2, and 3 of this. So that gives you a lot of room to work with as far as modifying this exercise as you improve. So why are we doing this exercise like this? We're doing it to continue to work on the rate of our breath, but more importantly, the biochemical side of our breath. So what really drives our breath for us and our desire to breathe is actually not the amount of oxygen in our body. More often than not, we have more than enough oxygen. There's no sensors going off saying, I need oxygen. It's actually sensors saying, I have too much CO2 in my body. But as our level of CO2 goes higher in our body, our utilization of oxygen actually increases. So as CO2 goes higher, that higher rate allows us to release more oxygen to our tissues within our body. So obviously, really high levels is not going to be good for us, but as we can tolerate a little bit more, we get better at utilizing that oxygen. So we want to be able to have a higher threshold of how much carbon dioxide we can pull in our body. So this is going to do that for us. As we walk, we're burning up our oxygen, we're producing more carbon dioxide, and those levels are basically going from high oxygen, low carbon dioxide, and they're going to try and switch on us. and we are going to push through that as long as we can. And that's going to build up our tolerance to that CO2 so that we become a more effective and efficient breather. So start at number one, just sitting in the chair doing this. That's where most of us are going to start, especially if you struggle with anxiety or stress or panic attacks. You're going to want to stay in the seated one, doing pretty light breath holds for a while, because this can sometimes, for some people, be triggering to that. So if that's you, just take this one slow. As you do it, realize that it is a good exercise for you still, because likely your anxiety or panic attacks are triggered by your very low threshold to carbon dioxide. So if you struggle with panic attacks, anxiety, high stress, and you've noticed with our CO2 tolerance test and our Bolt score that you scored very low, it means you don't have good tolerance to the feeling of that CO2, which is basically that like suffocation feeling, which is why it triggers that anxiety or that panic attack or stress for you, which is why it's something we want to work on. We want to build that up so that you have less stress and panic attacks and anxiety because you are able to tolerate more. So when we do it in a controlled environment where you know you have control of it and you can train that, we get better at managing our stress or our anxiety. So just be careful if that's you to start with just the seated in the chair, very light, very moderate. Don't push it too hard. If you feel like you're getting a bit anxious, back off from it, but we want to progress over time to these other ones. So if that's not you, you can go through that seated one relatively quick, get into the walking one. I love doing this as an evening walking exercise. And you can start to feel it. You feel these little sensations in your body. Everyone's a little bit different, but I certainly like feel this like rush kind of coming up through like the back of my legs, side of my body for whatever reason. So everyone's going to feel something a little bit different when they get to that point of like a moderate to a stronger tolerance there or build up, and then take that breath. So the walking, and then eventually getting into the like fast moving walk or the jog. And this almost starts to mimic high altitude training to a small degree, because think that we would have less access to that oxygen and taking those breaths. So that's what I have for you guys for today. This is one that is very malleable basically, and we can change it from like very beginner breath work all the way up to very advanced. So this one is something that you can take with you for a long period of time. So that is our breath holds. Enjoy that one.